What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classic Clown blog. Let me know if you can hear me. I got my mic on. Hopefully, it's attached and doing well. If it is not, y'all always can help me out. If it's not, if you can't hear me, let me know if you can hear me. Put a 1 in the comments. Long and the story short, today it's talking about rent's gonna fall, housing prices are gonna fall. Well, the data's in. Rent only went down 0.5%, 0.59%. Not even 1% did the rent go down. Not even 1 full percent. Eggs are extremely expensive. What's going on? But if you've been watching the Classic Clown, if you've been hearing us talk, you've been seeing for the past year, 2, 3 years, how you've had massive crops damage, massive animal areas curved, shortages in a lot of places that were going to trickle down into our economy. If you've been watching the Classic Climb, if you've been just not living under a rock. But here's the thing, all right? Here's the thing. We wouldn't be caring about $5 eggs. We wouldn't be caring about $7 lettuce if we were what? Getting our economics together. Now, I know there's a lot of hotep stuff out here where people like the economics, man, get your mind right. But let me tell you something. The number one thing that you can have a rich life from, if you're poor in money right now, if you have a rich mind, that means you're reading, you're observing, you're listening to podcasts, you're putting good in so much so that you're so full of good information that your life direction is just going to have no choice but to go well. Now, if you don't understand what I'm trying to say to them, well, here's the facts. It's what you put in is what you're getting out. Join us tomorrow at 3 p.m. for the live training. I'm going over personal credit, business credit. I'm also showing you how to layer yourself in companies. This isn't just talking about credit cards and vendor lines of credit. I'm talking about business, growing your business in the local economy, in the digital economy, and online. Again, these are probably my last 3 live trainings. January 8th is this one, just tomorrow, for credit. January 14th is for the digital real estate, how to make $100,000 in this coming year in digital real estate, because let's just go there. I just came off Diamond Dave's Live, but we as a people are heavy on social media, heavy so much so that even if though we're looking for people that don't look like us to talk about money or talk about health, people that look like us that talk about health will win big. People who look like us that talk about homeschooling, ranching, farming will win big. The problem is people don't understand, how do I set it up so that I'm not bored talking about my topic and I'm not losing traction, losing interest. Another one we'll be doing, I think, the beginning of February. I have to double check with our people that are rotating in, is a Middleman to Millions training. Why service businesses are going to wreck. And you listen, a lot of people go, oh, Erica, I'm not trying to be a plumber. I'm not trying to be a roofer. I'm not trying to do this. A lot of this is you own the company and you will pay for the marketer and you will pay for the girl that answers the phone and you'll pay for the person that does the service repair. There is a big market space for that. A lot of people don't understand what's happening. A lot of these baby boomers that you thought were going to be just chilling and retiring, they're not just chilling and retiring with nothing. A lot of them are selling businesses. And what's the component that they don't understand that you understand? It's not just the local word of mouth. It's the internet. It's the TV. It's the fact that some of these young people won't even answer the phone. They rather you text them that you're coming to the house to do a repair, and then you knock on the door, and then you show up, and then you're doing the work, and you're not talking to them. If you can listen to some of the service people, I've heard the most funny thing where people like, they can't talk to the people in the house. They just got to do their work and ignore them. An older person owning a business may not understand that model, may not understand why certain millennials or Gen Zs are like that. They don't understand. They're like, why this kid ain't talking to me? Why he's not being talkative as I'm in his house? There are people built like that. But you won't know, and you can't put yourself in a position to win if you don't what? Attend the live training, follow the steps. A lot of times people say, well, Eric, I want to do A, B, C, D, but I'm going to skip C. Well, then you ain't gonna get the results. That's just what it is. A lot of times people try to tell me how they're gonna do A, B, and C, but skip something. I just tell them, good luck. Good luck. You want to skip a step? Good luck. I don't know what to tell you. And a lot of times it's funny to me because people don't want to hear the truth. Hey, your situation didn't get like this overnight. Your best thinking has you where you are right now. Your best thinking, let's name it again. Your best thinking has you where you are right now. A great live Diamond Dave did earlier was talking about Shannon Sharp working with, what's his name? Skip. So sick of Skip Bayless. So long story short, I'm not going to rehash that whole live. He did an amazing job. Go watch it. But here's the truth of it. There's a ton of Skip Bayless out there. There's Skip Bayless in the workforce. There's Skip Bayless out in real life. Again, Skip Bayless to me is the less racist Rush Limbaugh. That's it. And people love that character, good or bad. They love to hate him or they love him, right? Again, Donald Trump, to this day, I talk about Donald Trump, like, Ericka, why? I'm like, it's polarizing. We're living in an economy and society where somebody being so polarizing, it matters. Now, earlier today, excuse me, take my hat off, let my head breathe a little bit. Earlier today, I was on Facebook and I was looking at this video and I kept seeing it. I'm like, all right. So I finally look at it. I look up and it's got 600 stars. I said, now I know Facebook is doing this monetization. Let me go ahead and pay attention. I clicked the stars. Like, do you want to give 99 cents? Now imagine if 600 people gave 99 cents, that's $600. That's just one of the videos the person had. One of them. I know they had about 10. So let's say each person's giving $600 on these videos. It's got 10 videos. That's $6,000 coming off Facebook. Of course, Facebook gonna take their portion. Y'all already know that part. And now this person looks at posting on Facebook, engaging on Facebook differently. If I can get people's emotions, if I can get people to watch this, they will do what? Put money in my pocket. And these are some of the things we got to address. Now, Overcoming Roadblocks was the name of this show. If you heard the last 2 years, everybody and their mom was crying about what? Inflation, the cost of food, the cost of housing, the cost of cars, the cost of you name it. Oh, my job doesn't pay me this much, but yet you're on Instagram and Facebook for 9 hours a day. So you can't be adding but so much value to your workplace. The average American doesn't even work 40 hours a week. So let's address that part too. Okay. So now you look up and things cost more. What's the roadblock? The cost of food. What's going to happen? Some people are going to get cheaper food, worse food. But what was a food that was always cheap and in great supply that made meals stretch? Eggs. People making breakfast for kids. They could always do oatmeal and eggs. Oatmeal or eggs, right? Eggs and toast. People adding it to noodle packs, eggs. Okay, even in the hood, people show me the little videos where they got the noodle pack and they add an egg, scrambled egg to it. Eggs are very much a stretcher meal for the poor to be made all day long. Eggs go on a lot of meals. A lot of stuff people want to bake and make requires eggs. Okay, so now when eggs are really high priced, you can't get away from the conversation of things cost more because most of the time we ain't paying attention. I've told y'all my thoughts on people with children. The reason our school system the way it is because 90% of parents are coasting. They at work, they're exhausted, they come home, they spend a good maybe 45 minutes, according to studies, looking at the kid, hearing what the kid problem was for the day, and then the kid's just around. They're around and the kid's around, but they're not really doing anything momentous in the rest of the afternoon. They're recovering from work. The kid's recovering from school. And everybody's tired. Okay, so you got that dynamic playing out. So you know they're already on a low information diet. So now all of a sudden eggs are expensive and everybody on Facebook is talking about eggs. And it makes that person go, why is eggs so expensive? Again, that means that person's been out of the loop of the last 3 years of what? Storms happening, crops being damaged. I mean, this is a 30-minute read. If you literally just want to stop for a second and go, why are eggs so expensive? And actually Google for 30 minutes, you would literally see we had this many storms, this much crop damage, this many areas short on eggs, this much chicken went this way. Again, same thing. Why did people notice there was a chicken shortage? Wingstop had to go to thighs because we was out of chicken arms, I guess. We had chicken thighs. We had legs of chickens, but not chicken's arms. I don't know how to explain that. But if you have people that are basically zombies. They're literally walking, talking zombies, and they don't challenge or look to overcome challenges until something prompts them. Let me give you an example. We're talking about food, but let's go first. I'm a young person. I don't know what I do. I'm just bouncing around jobs. I'm goofing off. Oops, I fall down pregnant. Now I have a purpose and a mission to do what? Get appropriate housing, get insurance, get money for this baby, for this person. If I'm a decent young person, then I got to figure out, okay, now how do I navigate life with this little person? So now they're on another level of purpose and mission. And they got to overcome what challenges now? Time, daycare, money. If you look online, how many times I've heard people say, oh, I wouldn't even be working this hard if I didn't have kids. Their whole life goal is to be a sloth. Their whole life goal is to do a bunch of nothing and play video games at home. This coffee's so good. Hold on, y'all. So we already know that about people. We already know that about people. Credit repair. Nobody cares until they want to do what? Buy a car. It used to be you just rolling dealership. They shotgun your information out and somebody would give you a terrible car loan. This past couple years, the price of cars was so high, people said, oh no, I actually have to do some planning. I actually have to research which car I can really afford. I have to research which bank might work with me. This caused that friction in the market where people are upset that it wasn't easy. Credit wasn't easy. This is why immigrants can come here and just dominate and become millionaires in 3 years or less. The IRS documents, when they researched it, Haitian immigrants and Korean Americans, they come to America penniless. And within 3 years, they are millionaires on paper. Again, doesn't say physical, doesn't say liquid millionaire. It just says on paper, on taxes, for tax purposes, right? Why is that? This person comes here and realizes if I just go to work, pay my bills on time, apply for this one card at this bank, and I keep putting my money, my check into the Bank of America. Bank of America gonna give me a credit card, and then I can apply for more credit cards. Oh my God, this is nothing. This is nothing. America's a cakewalk, and I'm safe, and I can call the police if somebody hurt me, and I don't have to worry about retaliation if I call the police. This is a cakewalk. This is why they come here and they work together and they just dominate. This is why when you talk to native-born Americans about becoming a millionaire in a year or two, in 6 months or less, depending on the vehicle, they look at you like you an alien. You a three-headed monster, you an alien, you a crazy person. But if you go talk to a Mexican man right now, you go talk to a Japanese man, you go talk to a person that's ain't been in America that long, and you start talking about, hey, if we do this, or we build this construction, or we do this commercial office space, and do this, oh yeah, blah 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 blah. It's they own it. Tell me the steps. What's the next step? What's the action? First, with the American person, I got to convince them it's possible. I got to convince them this is a challenge that they can overcome. The immigrant, yeah, well, what's the next steps? What's the steps? Let's go. You just said a word. Let's go. And so that's why when I say if you can't be rich of money, the next best thing you need to be is rich of mind. The next best thing you need to be is well-read, so that if somebody comes on this internet and says something to you, you automatically know if that rubs right or wrong. That's why so many people are so loose with the word scam. They don't even know the true definition of it. They can't even say it. They go, well, if you didn't provide this thing and then this, it's a scam. I don't understand how they run their business. It must be a scam. I can't figure out how 1 + 1 = 2. It's a scam. So they don't even know. They're usually losing this definition term because, one, we're negative focused people, right? So if someone comes on here saying, hey man, you could get, $1 million in credit cards, probably take you a year or two. Somebody's gonna be like, man, it's a damn scam. If I go, hey, you want 100K in funding? This is why this number is so attractive to people. Oh, if I get 100K in funding, well, you could go to Navy Federal and get 3 cards for 25K each, and then go to another bank and get another card for 25K, and you're at 100 already with 4 cards. But see, people are so used to what? Lowered expectations. So you can't convince them, hey, this might be done, in a month. This might be done in 3 months. Depends on what's going on with your credit. Depends on the steps. Are you following the steps? This is the pushback you're receiving. This is part of my pullback from YouTube, because I realize what I'm encountering is people they on zombie time. I can't fight zombies. I'm just one person. I can assemble a team of Avengers to help me fight the zombies. But at the end of the day, All I can do at this point is pretty much market and promote my videos and say, listen, you ain't got to trust me. Go ask Diamond Dave on stocks. You ain't got to trust me. Ask Diamond Cut Media on credit. You don't have to trust me. Go ask Credit Irene on credit. You don't have to trust me. Go ask the man we're bringing on next week on how to start a virtual call center. Because you already know 100 women somewhere from your high school in your local town that would love to work remotely from home on the phone, right? You already know that. That already exists. But how many people do you know on the other end that wants to own the actual business? Actually wants to follow the steps, get the funding, have QuickBooks, do the payroll, do all that stuff. A lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people just want to show up, chill, eat good, and travel. Again, but are they overcoming the roadblocks? What's the roadblock? If I say, hey, man, I need to travel once a month, every month, here's a list of the places I want to go, here's a list of things I do. My next step is, how much does that cost? Right? You got these people out here with these vision boards and these manifestation boards, and they're going to manifest. Nah, baby, how much does it cost? What's the two? Okay, it costs $5K to sit at the Super Bowl and a nosebleed. All right, that's the cost. Do you have it? If you don't have it, can you get it? Can you figure out how to get it? You know, these are things that are, you know, I'm not trying to be funny, but like when you get on the phone with people, some people haven't even stopped to write on a piece of paper, how much does this cost? How much does your dream life cost? What's the timeline to get it? This is why the 4-Hour Workweek was such a vital and important and like strong book, because people were like, he was just like, hey, if you got a heart attack, it literally said that in the book, you had a heart attack and you had to get yourself out of work the next 6 months to the point where you just doing maybe like an hour or two a week, 4 hours a week. How do you delegate that work to somebody else? How much time would it cost? How much money would it cost you? How much money do you need to replace your income of your job? Because there's people out here with real skill that if they just tip their real skill, had somebody help them promote their real skill, they'd be straight. But you got to have actual skills to do that. That means you have to actually sit down and figure out what you want to do. Now, part of what I had on my little list here, somebody was talking about housing. You know, the rents are so crazy. Don't worry, Ericka, the rents are going to fall to the ground. They're going to crash. The housing going to crash. Many people are clowning this one dude who has a YouTube channel where he's been talking for 2 years about how the housing market going to crash. It ain't crashed. It ain't crashed. Oh, see, rents are falling through the sky. Okay, rents, they finally put out the data. 0.59%. Not even a 1% crash of rent. So that means if you had $1,000 rent a month, now, you know, the landlord might market it as $994 a month. $6 whole, y'all. They lost $6 whole. If it was a $2,000 a month place, okay, they lost $12. That's not a fall. Don't fall for these people who are not experts telling you this. This is my biggest thing about being on social media. The people that are really doing it, I'm talking about myself and many others included, when we start showing you screenshots, when we start showing you data, when you've seen me personally with your eyes travel for the past 5 years nonstop, first class, living well, clearly eating well, doing well, but yet someone's like, oh no way, it's got to be all a scam. This is the overcoming the challenge of yourself, overcoming the challenge of your mind, because this stuff is logic. This is numbers. A lot of this stuff that you're pushing against, you can do basic math and figure it out. All right, so let me go here. 2 to 5 year window. Oh, first for the housing. Let me first clarify this. Someone said, Ericka, you know, housing's so ridiculous you can't buy a house. Let me clarify. If you have no debt, zero debt, I know this is hard for people to imagine. Zero debt, you make $70K a year, you can qualify for a $400,000 house. Let me say that again. If you may have no other debt and you make $70K a year, you can qualify for a $400,000 house. You make $75K a year, it's a $450,000 house. You make $85K a year, you can qualify for a $500,000 house. You make $100K a year, you can qualify for a $650,000 house. You make $250K, you can qualify for an $850K house. Again, when you saw these people moving to Dallas and moving to Houston. In Houston, the highest house on average you'd be seeing is what? 400 and 450,000. Now there's some ranges. I know y'all gonna hear it, of course, correct me, but there's some ranges. When you're in DC, when you're in Arlington, Virginia, Alexandria, Virginia, and the houses are a mil, 0.5, 0.7. Why is that? Those are usually people who are working in what? Government contracts. have money, work in that space, that 100K, both the husband and wife making money space. Different housing market. You go down to some of these military towns, the average house is what? 269, 369 max. Why? It's the income of the people there. Here in Austin, average house income for a while there was like 476. Okay, what do we know about somebody pay for $476? That means they're close to $80,000 a year income. Then you go to one part of Pflugerville, all the houses are $650,000. What does that mean? 100K income. Most of the neighbors you're gonna see are what? In engineering, right? Or both husband and wife work. Again, these numbers matter, and that's why I'm just saying again, this is for you to qualify for a house with no debt. This is just a no debt scenario. There's other scenarios, but I'm bringing this up because so many people say, oh, the average man or woman can't afford a house. If you and your boo together have 70K in income, that means you making 40, she making 30. Y'all can afford a $400,000 house if you have no debt. But if you're sitting there with a ton of debt, new cars, credit cards, everything maxed out to the yammies, student loan debt, yeah, you can't get a $400,000 house. And knowing what I know about people, they only want the $400,000 house. They want the $500K house. And their money's not there to do that. They can't stun on. That's why so many people couldn't buy a home. They sit here with a brand new Lexus talking about they want a home. No, you do not. Ma'am, your payments say you do not. Okay? So again, that's just one level of overcoming roadblocks, overcoming obstacles if you know real math. Why are we going to talk about this? This all matters because we're doing a lot of training. We're talking about credit. We're talking about building a business and levels to vendors' credit, multiple banks, different lines, reason why this class is important and why I talk about it this way is if 50% of Americans, almost 52% of Americans are underbanked, which means they're cashing their checks with Chime. They're unbanked. They don't even go to bank account. They go to the corner bodega store, cash their check. They're going to terrible pawn shop locations. They're going to different locations, Walmart, places to cash a check. That tells you already that half our society in America, they're not working a steady job. One of my biggest challenges as a company of a truck, I had 15 employees, but I had at least 6 didn't have a bank. Can't you just send me my money, Walmart? Can't you just pay me through one of those work cards? Because at first I didn't realize what was this work card thing. I don't work like that, right? So I start calling around people like, oh yeah, Walmart, Amazon, all these places, they'll have a debit card that they print out at the office and give to workers because workers don't have banks. So the money's loaded on the card. It's got a Visa or MasterCard logo. You can go to ATM, take the money out and go do whatever. That's fucking sad, y'all. That is fucking sad. That there's a whole industry of companies and banks and merchant accounts that provide a card to an employee because they don't have a bank account to pay their bills and to eat and to live. Do y'all see how bad it is that I'm sitting here telling you that if 50% of Americans aren't even banked, me teaching a class on credit, I'm not even hitting some of that demographic. I'm hitting literally a small 20% demographic that's like, yo, I work, I got a brain, I got some money saved up. Let me get this credit right. Let me zoom up this credit. That's who I'm talking to. You sitting there with a Chime card in your hand and a work card that pay your bill with, I might not be talking to you because you're not even at a stable financial level. You still doing the Chime thing. Chime does good work. I'm just saying as a point. So now that we know that, are we creating a system or setting goals? Because here's a big thing. You're going to hear a lot of this January to April. Are you setting goals? Are you manifesting? Nah, I'm not setting goals. I'm creating systems to do what? Win. All right, let's go ahead and put it together in a way that might make sense to y'all. I literally leave my job. By my job is Planet Fitness. Before I get to my house, I stop at Planet Fitness, work out, then go home. Guess what? I've created a system that forces me to stop and do this loop. Okay. Another thing, right? Systems. Okay. Hey, staff on Friday, I write up the staff's list of emails they need to have for Monday, and it's auto set to send to them on Monday morning when they come into work. Okay, these are the emails you need to send. This is the goals for the week. This is the task for the week. This is what needs to be done. right? It's a loop. It's a system. Are we creating a system to win? Another one, if you have kids, listen. And I ask people all the time, why don't they pack lunches for their children? Oh, I don't have time. What is Sunday for? Church? For you to watch football and recover? Baby, go in that kitchen and put them kids' snacks together. See, when I say stuff like that, you're offensive, Ericka. How dare you? You don't understand how hard it is to have kids and feed them and keep them alive. Y'all, it's all a choice. You chose that challenge. Now it's your job to overcome it. Right or wrong, put a one in the comments if you feel I'm right. Okay, so again, now when it comes to business, we talk about creating systems versus setting goals. 2 to 5 year window, y'all. What you're going to see this year, I'm going to tell you like this. You're going to see less coaches. You're going to see less mentors. You're going to see less Ty Lopez. Now, you're going to see more ads, but you're going to see less in general. Why are you going to see less in general? Because this is what's happening. They had the 2 to 5 year window. That 2019, that 2020, that 2021, it was a ball. It was great. Money everywhere. Money's everywhere. People throwing money in the sky. 2022 got them real. That's why you notice the trend for tech, right? Because a lot of these people know what? Hey, courses dry up, sales dry up, coaching dries up. I can go be in tech, get 80K a year. Okay, maybe in a year or two, do what? Transfer jobs, get paid more, but I got to show I can do this job. And if I take a few courses at the community college to add to the portfolio, like, oh, see, I'm taking classes and getting more certifications, you can justify that pay raise. That's what you have happening right now. A lot of people moving that way. Then you have another set of people who were wholesalers. Wholesalers was gangbusters. 2012. Well, ever since the crash, 2012, 2009 to about 2018, that 2018 mark, people start seeing gentrification differently. They start seeing everybody, these new houses popping up everywhere in all these cities, all these urban areas in America, all 50 of them, every city you can think of. Okay, they got new gentrification, they got new building of houses. Well, how much does my land lot really cost? How much does grandma's house really worth? How much is these numbers really? Let me go look on Zillow. Let me go ask my realtor black friend that became a realtor. Tell me what the real numbers is. So it dried up wholesaling. What did they do to overcome that challenge? They went into what? New construction. They went into holding some of those properties. They went into several different ways, right? Why did they do that? Because it was overcoming the challenge of what? Lack of people selling their homes for a discount because they were unknowledgeable, right? That whole, let me give you 30K for your grandma's house in the middle of downtown in the hood somewhere, that's a wrap, unless you're talking to crackheads who just need the crackhead money. And homeless anyway, they just need crackhead money. You might get some of them, right? Or they inherited some house in 2 towns away. They don't know nothing about it. Cool, you might get one of them. But overall, if you were in wholesaling, you moved over to what? New construction, service business. How do I fix things? How do I make things pop? Because you've been looking at houses. You've been talking about houses. You've been in and around houses. So now you got to move, right? Transportation, you saw the wave with transportation. Like any other business, you got that 2 to 5 year window. What happens? People grow a business, they maximize the business, and then it kind of levels off to where the normal rates would be. So you got people who've been owning trucking companies for 10 years. They're like, oh yeah, it's just another down season. They ain't no smoke off their back. They still rolling. You meet other people who just started 2019, 2018. Oh my God, it's the worst of times. The freight, the drivers. Oh Lord, help me. Like, you can see the stress. You can see it, right? They're getting to that cycle where the business is now leveling off, right? And they thought, hey, I'm gonna own this truck. I'm gonna be a big baller. I'm gonna go on vacations all day. I'm gonna live well. Transportation is a 15% return. 15. So if you, let's say your company make a mil, you're gonna get about 150,000. Say that again. If your company make a mil in transportation, you on average gonna get 150,000 to 200,000. It's not like that. It's not what you think it is. So in a lean year, you're gonna have to be lean, right? And people weren't ready for that. People like, shit, I'll sell the truck. I ain't got time. Ain't no way the driver gonna make more pay than me every day. They new to the industry. They don't realize there's bumps and bruises, and you can, if you own those trucks straight out with no debt, you can just park them mugs. If you don't, That bill got to be paid every month, right? So these are all things, challenges they have to face. Another thing I was going to bring up is, yeah. I had it written down. So these entertainers, these content creators that people are so salty about, they're selling courses. Oh my God. They're doing all this crying in the internet, gnashing of teeth. They complain about podcasting. I get it. I really do. There's two ways the tide is turning. One example is Matt Walsh. You had, and I'll give the more context. You have Ben Shapiro. He was like Jewish, logic, numbers, the height of against you, like Jordan Peterson, but Jewish and nerdy with numbers, right? And less philosophical. So he creates this thing, this overarching platform called Daily Wire, right? He's bringing in Matt Walsh, who's a dad, common sense guy. He's bringing in an older guy who's kind of snazzy. Then he brings a young Catholic, kind of like arrogant guy in. They can form this super conservative super team. Well, Matt Walsh is just like the dad who's like, this doesn't make sense. So Matt Walsh spends his time kind of going against culture, like, hey, you're going to be happier if you're just married and chill with your wife and you worry about your kids, right? Fight for America, but worry about your family. Well, after he spent maybe a year fighting school systems, they won that battle. The CRT is out of there. A lot of the sexual weird stuff is out of there. There's over 55 school board districts that were won. Flipped all the way over. Super conservative boards. You're not going to go against what parents want. So that fight's kind of done. Now he's on his next fight. Why? Because content and controversial content sells. He's like, what these guys don't get about marriage. How they're marketing marriage wrong. How they're talking bad about marriage. So now what does that do? Because Pat, let me just give you a comparison. Pat David Valuetainment is doing the same thing, but in the opposite. Value Entertainment is trying to chase young men by bringing on the Andrew Tates, by bringing on the Roloff Talasi, whatever his stupid ass name is, bringing on these people, blue pill, red pill, all this stupid shit. David Bett doesn't believe that. He's Iranian. He likes his wife. He has multiple children, just had another baby. He loves his family. He makes that very clear. But he's bringing them on what? To bring young men to watch his channel in the process, right? Cross these. Matt Walsh is doing the opposite. He's like, these dudes are weirdos. You should get married and have a family. You should get married. Marriage, it helps you. You dating and you living with someone and not married, when y'all break up, it's the equivalent emotionally to a divorce. That's why you have these very bitter people out here. When they break up, they're like, you're like, damn, you aren't married. Why are you crying so? Because it's the equivalent of divorce. You're making all these little broken homes. It's equivalent to divorce, right? So they're both tackling digital media in the same way, just different ways. One's bringing people to them, the other one's bringing people to them to be anti. They're mad. They're gonna be mad because Matt Walsh is like the dad that's telling them the common sense thing that they know is right. They're like, David Beckham being like the cool uncle that's like letting you talk stupid, but he doesn't believe it. He's like, oh yeah, young men should be very careful about marriage. He doesn't believe that. He was in the military. He's been married forever. Everybody he knows is married. All the men he's gonna do business with are married. He don't believe that shit. He just bring them on for the tension. So you have this moment in social media where you're the anti-hero. Well, what you're saying is right, but it's not popular unless you pick a battle with somebody and be really high controversial. The other end of that spectrum is rolling with the wave, right? Like, oh yeah, trucking. Oh yeah, credit. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna roll with the wave because they know that's a way to get y'all attention. I'm gonna just roll with the wave and take some of the views off the wave. Matt Walsh is like, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna be the anti-hero. Y'all guys are weird. Being antisocial is weird. Running off in the middle of nowhere is weird. Moving to another country you can't afford to live there is weird. Moving to another country just to get a girlfriend and then get married and do the same thing you would do here is weird. So Matt Walsh is choosing to be the anti-hero. Because why? All these things go back to the same thing. Overcoming challenges. How are you going to overcome challenges in your business? Having funding, having a plan. How are you going to overcome challenges in your life? Not just goal setting, but actually creating up systems so that you go complete the task. I know sometimes I sound like a dead horse. Don't worry. I'm taking a break off YouTube in February. But after February, hey, invite me back again. But I'm making sure this January and February hit a big punch for y'all because I know if you can hit the button now, you can turn it up By the time you kind of run out of steam in April, it won't matter. A lot of y'all will hit your numbers. Now, what else did I see in the ecosphere of people trying to start a business? Now, I know it makes pause. Y'all gonna be mad at me for about a good 5 minutes, but here's my little rant about MBAs. Now, this school had offered to pay for me an MBA for free because I won't gonna pay because I don't care like that, because I know a real MBA is real life. It's you actually taking your money and betting on a company and running the company. And if it loses, if it fails, you lost money, and that is it. You eat that. That was your training of business, right? And say, damn, how could I have done this better next time? Oh, this way. That's how that could have been better. If I'd have did ABC. That's how real MBA is created, by having real businesses. When I see people try to go out and get MBAs, really, I don't think, man, this person's creating an arsenal of weapons. I think that person's trying to find a way to backdoor themselves into a job later where they can get paid $100K because, look, I learned this stuff from this MBA. Unless you can start a real business and use it, MBA is useless. It's useless. I know people hate me right now. I know people hate me. It's useless. Now, if you're a Black person in a space where it's predominantly white and you feel like your coworkers be acting a little stanky to you, you know what I mean? Because you don't have letters behind your name. One, I recommend you switch jobs. Two, if you can't switch jobs, I would recommend you make sure the company pays you for getting that MBA. Don't waste your money. Let them pay. Since your coworkers want to act stank and be like, oh, he don't know, let your company pay. And then when you have a celebration, you put your little hat on, you put it on your little desk, and you show Pam, shut the hell up, Pam. I have an MBA. You don't know. That's what that's for. But MBAs in the real world mean nothing unless you can do what? Actually run a company. Now, if you tell me, hey, Eric, I want to come work for you and I'm a COO, and I say, what's your experience? Well, I got my MBA. I'm be like, look, here's real world. Here's the real world of what we gonna do, and here's what you learned, right? Same thing when it came to trucking. So many people try to talk to me about trucking in the past couple of years. Unless you were nose deep in it, owned a truck, ran a driver, did all that stuff, it's hard for you to understand what I'm talking about. Unless you were nose deep in Torino, Turo car, you had a car, you rented it out, you experienced dealing with people, it's hard for you to understand. A lot of these people who actually did Airbnb, actually did Turo, actually owned a trucking company, actually did social media marketing, actually went out there and tackled having a real business. And so what if it failed? If it failed, guess what? My money's still going to be on that person more than I would be on the average person. Because that person knows what it's like to win, lose, and to try, than someone who's like, well, I've been sitting on the sidelines for 5 years and I've really been thinking about it, but I haven't done anything. I don't trust you. I don't trust you. You don't know. You're guessing. You don't know. You don't have real life experience in it. You don't know. But Ericka, I read all the books. It doesn't matter. You don't know. So what did I see happen the past couple of years? People went out and got a real life MBA. They went out and experienced Torino cars or accidents or Airbnb not working, or they got reported by their apartment manager. Stuff happened and they acknowledged it. And now this person does one or two things. They go out and start again because that's how people in business work. Or two, they went back and got a job. I know several people who had multiple businesses fail and they had to go back and get a tech job. And guess what they're doing? They're slowly building their cash reserve to do what? Start something else again. Even if it's on a smaller scale, even if it's just buying rentals, even if it's just small buying assets for freedom. What is buying assets for freedom? Buying more dividend stock, buying REITs, buying, I know one guy, he took his money after he lost his business, putting $50K into an apartment syndication deal, right? Buying that freedom back, buying that time back. There's ways to do it. But that's what happens when you overcome a challenge. Because real life versus what you're going to read in a book I'd much rather you told me, man, I spent $20K for a year traveling the world to be a travel blogger than you tell me you spent $20K on a fucking MBA. I'd rather you told me, hey, man, I spent $20K running ads for my business for a year and the business barely survived, but I got that data. I understand. I'd rather you tell me I spent $20K in a year trying to trade the stock market, learn my lesson, went on run my business. Even when I was in Las Vegas and our waiter had said, yeah, 1 year he made $100K betting, sports betting, and then he lost it. Then he made $50K in a year, and then he did a bad year, and now he's a waiter. Okay, well, at least you learned. Now don't get greedy. Now just do small bets. Now just do $100, $200, $300 bets. Stay within your budget. You don't got to be homeless. But you learned, right? You learned you could do this full time if you did it a particular way. It's a difference. And people don't want to hear that, but I'd rather you put 20K or 50K into yourself and test yourself. Now, if you know you're not a good test, if you know you're not that low, no limit soldier, don't do it. Go stay at your job, slowly buy money towards your freedom, buy a home, pay it down, worry about the cost of eggs, start going couponing, figure out how you can buy cheaper meat. Well, for those of you who are going to attend the live trainings for January 8th, January 14th, and February, that's what we're talking about. That's the mission we're on. If you talk to me on the phone and you don't have real life testimonial results of where you've been doing something, I'm going to ask you. You know that when you get on the phone with me. Hey, what are you doing right now? How long are you doing it? Why is it not work? Why aren't you on the next step? Why are you taking so long to make the decision? Because really, when people tell me they take a long time to believe, they don't believe it. If I ask you something, you're like, oh, I don't know what I think about it. You don't believe it. It's cool. Hey, why you haven't done this? You don't believe it. That's okay. Just say, spare me and you the time and say, hey, man, I just don't believe that. Cool. Because really, it's up here. It's the rich mind that helps you to make that determination. Now, I know we having whole think pieces in this conversation with y'all, but I want y'all to understand, like, the people I know that really take off and really hit big in life, they don't take 5 years to make a decision. They take about 90 days of studying and then they go make the decision. If at that, man, I've been in rooms with folks who are like, man, I heard this one time. I went, God, you got it done. I remember the African guy. I'm sorry, I can't remember your name. He said he watched the channel. He ended up buying the Hood Estates course within a week. Went to Navy Federal, got 40K unsecured, bought a truck, found a driver by the end of the week and had the driver on the road. I saw him and was like, get out. Right? He was willing to put the money up. Again, he was African, but he'd been in America forever, working a 9-to-5 job. Again, a lot of times what you guys don't want to hear is, do you believe it? Is the conviction there? Are you willing to take a bite? Are you willing to let it, oh, whoops, I made a mistake and I learned. Are you willing to do that? A lot of people aren't. So if you're not willing to bet on you, who is? This is part of why I'm even talking about credit right now. Because if nobody else will fund you, can you get a credit card? Can you do this? Can you fund yourself? Is there a bank? Is there a vendor you can work with? There's too many ways now. Via Stripe, Gumroad, prepay options where you pre-sell stuff. There's too many options. Right? So if you're on the internet fighting with people who are like, you can't start a business because you're black. That's why I don't want to deal with black people. It's like, baby, chill. Either you winning or you're not. Either you're going to make this progress or you're not. Now, for me, I ain't never put another dollar in Detroit, but I did learn. I learned a lot. I learned I got to pay to get somebody else out this week. But again, it's one of those things. You lived and you learned. And then when people do real business, they start learning, ooh, that might not be as easy as I think it is. So anyways, let me read some of y'all comments. I don't want to definitely beat a dead horse, but I want y'all to understand this is all numbers. Overcoming a lot of stuff is just numbers. There's the link for the course if you want it. You can get it there. Let me see what y'all got in here. Also, you should make a personal mastermind group just to see what's on your mind for the day. Now, I mean, I might do a one-off event, maybe May or June this summer before we go to Africa. Maybe here at one of these Texas big-ass houses. I'm not certain, but we'll see. Constantly upgrading my skills in cybersecurity. Congratulations. Dwayne, facts on facts. Facts on facts. Listen. What you put in is what you get out. Facts on facts. Thank you for the $2 super chat, Ms. Black Mo Black Money. Get busy learning, investing, improving, eating healthy. Yeah, it becomes a system. Listen, when you go home, it's funny is there's a meme like the girl was saying you get mad at yourself because the healthy you went grocery shopping, right? If you just have the food in the house, you curve what you're trying to eat. You know what I mean? Do you think it's a good idea to buy land in Ohio and build? I'm seeing that man, come on. Listen, let me just put it to you this way. Ohio versus Detroit. Detroit rents did go down, right? Well, actually, the rents went up in most areas, but I don't know about the collection of rent. Let's just go there. But the enforcement of laws were in Ohio. That's why billions of dollars went over to Columbus, Cincinnati, and Cleveland. One of the ladies I want to bring on the show called Lattes, and y'all see me talk about her before. Basically, she was a nurse, nurse. She was in California, then she went to where? Ohio. Saw how cheap the classes were, working her job as a nurse, went and bought what? A fourplex, okay? And then went and bought 4 more. Okay, do the math. She was basically done in 2 years. She's 25 and she's done. Now she just has a bunch of rental portfolio, because then once people see that you actually do it, they start bringing money like, hey, can we partner on this? Can we do this together? Can we do that together? Hey, I totally work with you on this, because they see you're a go-getter. They see you will do it. You know land in Ohio is cheap. What's your permit process? Have you looked up anybody's houses? Have you looked up Jerome Montanalo? It's not whether I think it's a good idea. It's whether you will follow through and do the deal. Because the land might be 4K, how much it is to build. Them eggs got me about to steal a rooster. Listen, I've been seeing memes about eggs at Easter's Council. You see how they are? Good for protein. Shrinkflation doesn't apply to eggs. A dozen is a dozen. Facts. They can shrink the cereal down. They can shrink everything else down. Eggs is eggs. That's right. Low information, reactionary thinking, signs of dumbing down a society. And they think UBI and common control economic model will work with such brain drain. They really do. This is why listen, I personally think this, I can't prove it, but the border's so open because they just need men with testosterone who want to build and do construction. And on top of that, start businesses. That's why the SBA, 60% of the SBA loans received the past, I think, 10 years have been immigrant based. So 60% of the people starting businesses are immigrants. And then on top of that, when you read the numbers after that, because I did a whole show on it, we might have to do it again. Our country can't afford to not have masculine, energy-filled, skill-having men. We can't function as America without them. So that means we have to open the border and act like we don't see the borders wide damn open. That might be what our country is currently doing. Because we can't function if we don't have somebody fixing bridges. We can't function if we don't have people who are willing to dig and go in the sewers and plumbers and electrical. Our country can't function. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but our country can't make it. Right? If majority of men, Hispanic men coming from Mexico, write down on their paperwork that they do transportation, why do y'all think transportation looks the way it looks in Texas? Duh. They coming in to do what they already do when they do it at home. So trying to convince your cousin Leroy, who's been sleeping on your grandma's couch for 4 years, that maybe he should go in trucking and get his life together, and he fighting you tooth and nail. Hector come through, he gonna drive tomorrow. Let him change his clothes, he ready to go on the road for weeks. Different mindset. Different. You're talking about a different breed of man. It's different. Ericka, don't compare to men. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm so sorry. I apologize. Gotta do what we gotta do though. No lies, Dick. Thank you. I'm gonna tell you like this. No, they didn't. And if they did with a CPN, the government's coming and they're gonna be arrested. I'm telling you this now because this is like, of all things they check, especially when it comes to mortgages, you're going to jail. I promise you, Iceman. I know you may be saying this stuff to be controversial today, but I promise you, they're going to jail. CPN, unless they're a snitch, let me be very clear. If you know the dude and he got a house with CPN, he's a snitch. Federal snitches get CPNs for sure. CPNs, all it takes for somebody to run that number of that person they're using, and it's a dead kid attached to it or somebody handicap attached to it, they go into jail. That's why this whole CPN thing is for federal snitches. They're like, oh, it's for celebrities. No, it's for federal snitches. Who gave you the CPN? Again, that means that person's a snitch. Let's really go there. DC was fine in 2008, and so was Texas. Absolutely fine. Not a problem. Thank you for the 199 super chat. There you go. There you go. That's the facts. This is why commuting from Richmond to DC for work is becoming more common. The DMV housing market will have you eating up air sandwiches if you slip one. I mean, this is just the facts, right? You have to be married or you're going to be renting them other rooms out or you're going to be really concentrated effort. This is why when people sit here and tell me, oh yeah, I'm doing great in DC, look at me with this nice job in this apartment. Nah, baby, call me back when you actually own a house. Again, the markers of success are not a car, a hot Asian chick in an apartment in LA. That's not the markers. What's funny is I talked to black men from LA, and that is like, they literally make that comment that black men, or sometimes white dudes, think they're making it in LA if they look, I got this great apartment and a foreign broad and a nice fast car. He's like, that's it? That's all you got? Again, say what you will, Charles Ogilvie is hilarious. He's always spot on Twitter. And him and several other LA men have said funny stuff to me that's so comical. It's like the people they run into, their bar for excellence is so low. They think they winning. Brandon Green, thank you for the one. There's a PBS special called Unbanked. Yes, this is very true. I should look it up. Yep, there's old row houses in DC going for $1 million. They going crazy because New Yorkers moved down and bought them up. I remember the first time I heard people talk about not having a bank account 20 years ago, and I was in shock then. Can't believe this still thing. It's a real thing. If you and the reason Chime and Russell, what's his name? That's hiding over there in Bali, because they caught him with them young girls. Russell Simmons is over there, is because they're coming up with these banking and card things like Chime to pull in low income people, because they know you don't got no bank. They know you don't got one. They already know it, y'all. They ain't no bank. They know. They know you know it's serious. They know. Thank you. I appreciate you. What's up, Dr. Dix? People Miami don't have accounts. Yeah. Cubans coming over, no accounts. They don't care. They gonna find a way for them to be out there. I remember being in college and I was going to Bank of America to get my refund checked. I was so proud. And it was a line of 20 Hispanic guys. And it was a work, like a foreman at the front of the line. He stood there till each guy got their check cashed. And the Bank of America person said the same thing each time. Would you like to keep any of it in the account? No. Would you like a debit card? No. Cash. Every single Hispanic man in that line was getting cash and rolling up out of there. Now, what I did learn from some of my friends, a lot of those guys that were putting money, cashing their check, bouncing it right back out, when they did get them to get accounts, when they did get them to get credit cards, that's why you see so many Hispanic people buying what? Housing through what? Bank of America. Because Bank of America was one of the first to be like, oh, bring your money in here. No security, no social security number, no problem. Let me or you do that. They ain't gonna play that game. That's why I said I need to learn Spanish so I can come in there and act like I'm Spanish. And act like I don't understand what they're saying, that I can't get account with no social security number. Sounds like Ericka's using automation. People, your job can do the same for you. I'm telling y'all right now, they got that chat GPS, whatever they building, and Google's sweating. They're like, Lord, they're putting together a thing that can do all this work. Again, if I was a woman in my 50s and my kids are going to college, I'd be worried. If I was a woman in my 50s, 60s, and I still had to work like a front desk job, ooh, I'd be worried. Ooh, Miss Patty, God bless you. You gotta have the skills, right? The only person in America I am not worried for at all in any capacity is a female nurse. Shit, men nurses even better, right? They gonna have a job till they 99 and their arms don't work no more. If you're in engineering, you still got to keep doing your test over and over. If you're in nursing, I forgot what the test is they have to do, how many every years they have to do it, but I've been to hospitals and seen a nurse so old. I was like, what does she do? She had this front desk. What is she doing? She can't be physically lifting anything, but she was in there getting that check. Okay. The richest people in the Black community, nurses, daycare owners that get that the money from the government, and then the trucking men. Okay. And then military men. That in that order. Those four. You go to any southern town where Black people are. What your uncle do? He's a truck driver. What your uncle? He's in the military. They both got houses and cars. And people in the family looking to them. You got an aunt that's a nurse. Oh my God, she's a nurse. But she's on the same level as the auntie that owns a daycare. They will always be on the same level. Why? Because those are people in the Black community routinely who have money. Routinely. Just saying. Sherry, because these people have to prove that they actually can do it. These people have to start showing you results. This is why I talked about the whole car thing. I didn't give a damn about a car. Y'all were like, Ericka, cars. I'm like, but do you notice how your favorite people ain't traveling this year? You notice how your favorite people stuck in the house all year? They out here doing clubhouse 10 hours a day, but I'm out here on the beach. I'm out here taking people to Panama. I'm out here taking people to Zanzibar. Again, come on. Come on, y'all. Yes, they are holding on to these old broken buildings near Chicago. Yes. Yes. You're not about to come in here and ask nobody grandma for 30K on a building. A lot of businesses are 15% to 35% net profit. Yes. See, Sherry, this is the conversation. If I can have it and people understand, this is why you'll meet a man. And I wish I could bring this kind of person on the TV or the channel here, but I know he wouldn't. He won't. He don't want nobody to interview him like that. He owns barbershops, like 2 or 3. I think it's 2. Then he owns a trucking company. Then he owns this other stuff. And everybody's like, man, he's a boss. He's only getting 15-30% after he do all the booth rentals, pay for the lights, water bill, the marketing of the barbershop. Then he's got the trucking. It's like there's money being made. There's money moving around. But I wish I could get him to put it into apartments, put it in real estate. He's put it in some, but not a lot. But that's why you'll meet people that own multiple businesses. And it's not a thing. It's just a headache. But they can do it. They can do it. Because most businesses only give them 15. This is the thing nobody wants to talk about. That you're gonna start a company, you can make $1 million. That's why we always talk about gross versus net. Oh, my company made $1 million. Cool. What was your net? Oh, I made 150K. That's why when they sit here and say all these business owners only make 80K a year, what part of it's a write-off? It's a low profit business. That person doesn't understand it, right? There's a lot of reasons for that. But thank you, Sherry. That's a perfect point. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Boot camp, appliance boot camp. Thank you for the $20 super chat. If they didn't take the pandemic course money and convert it into real estate or cash flow in business, they are in for a rude awakening. Yes, unfortunately, like I have people messaging, oh, I couldn't get access to my course. I look up, it was 2020 they bought it. I already know what time it is. Oh, I'm locked out. I can't find my password. Well, if you hit forgot password, it'll reset. You hit forgot password, it'll reset it for you. But that just tells you where people were. They were buying a bunch of courses. They weren't really serious. They were buying courses, but their man wasn't in it. Now times are hard. Now they have to either go get a job or make this business thing work. So now I'm going to go look at the class. Prime example, I'm in Alex Becker's ad class. I'm in Jabril and a couple of people's ad class. I looked at that stuff in a while. You know why? Because I was going to hire somebody, put them full-time on my staff and make them watch those classes and trainings. Now, I did back in there myself and look at it here and there. The information's still the same. The information's still the same, even when they update it. That's why when people ask me, Ericka, your class is from 2 years ago. Is it still accurate? Honey, 99.99.99.99.99% of the stuff that me and Michael Sneed will teach in our classes, it'll still be good 5 years from now. Let me say that again. The stuff we're teaching will still be good 5 years from now. 5, 6, 7 years from now. This is how I know people can walk away from YouTube and just learn ads, because you know why? Most of the stuff they're teaching is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ericka, I didn't do 4. I just did 5 and 6. Well, then you had a problem. Ericka, I didn't do step 2, but I did step 3, 4, 5. Oh, then you have a problem. It's very simple. People, listen, this is why franchises work. This is why all these baby boomers going home to retire, you should buy their business off them, because they already done did the steps. You just listen and follow them for a day and write down the notes. You will have the steps for the business. Next, now you got to figure out how to market this business even more. Listen, don't think it ain't crossed my mind after looking at Michael Sneed Bootcamp. Let me go get me 2 little vans and get them wrapped in a business. Let me send them out here to do some work in Texas, because Texas is busy. I know there's some good old boy I can find that need 50K a year. You dig what I'm saying? Listen, it's so sad to see Patrick Bet Davis also bring on OnlyFans women talking about modern women. It's sad. And you know why? He's trying to chase that youth train, and he doesn't need it. You know why he doesn't need it? Because men are looking for father figures anyway. They're looking for the hero anyway. Women in business are looking for the hero anyway. He is that guy. He doesn't need all that extra. There are a lot of fake Republicans and conservatives who are anti-family. Oh, yeah. He wants views. That's all. Thank you for the 601, Marcus Garvey. When we create systems, it's how to do big things. This is the thing. If you look at, I'm trying to be careful, I want to say this, but if you look at some of these places, like if you had just 2 or 3 people work together and a little system, they could own a whole town. Y'all think I'll be joking when I talk about that. 2 or 3 people, you will go to these little old towns and it's the same 3 families own everything. Same 5 families own everything. It's the same in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Same 6 families. And our families were one of the front. If you look where the mall is, they made everybody who had a farm or land over there sell their land. All the black people had to sell their land. All the white people got to lease their land. 100-year lease. So there's only like 3 families in town that really are part of that old money. And that the 100-year lease. What's funny is one of the ladies is a little rough looking, but she always keep her husband. She got that old money. Okay. She doing something strange for change. Okay? But anyway, long story short, the other families that come into town, came in the 80s from New York, from up north, and they started buying up houses in the area. Man, these houses are cheap. Military houses, $30K, and rent them out for $800. Them same houses since before I was born, 1979, 1980, 1981. They still got them same houses rented out for $850 in North Carolina, and they just every couple of years update them. That's all. So you got these families that have been owning 50 houses, 100 houses for 20, 30 years in the same town. And then they do what with the money? Buy other stuff in town. It's an old business model. It's so old. It's so old. It's to the point now where I told my family, y'all, I'm gonna go buy 100 houses in the town. Really? Why? Because it's old way to get money. This is an old monopoly game. Everything that you think is new under the sun is old. Let's say you couldn't buy houses for cheap. You go build a 100-unit apartment complex. Now you got 100 houses. Now you got 100 units. You're in the game. If you go to any smaller, medium range town and build 100 units, you're in the game. You only need 5 acres to build 100 units. You're in the game. Like, if I could explain it to y'all any better, I would, but that's the best way I can do it without giving up too much. There you go. Sure, that's why I didn't get mad at someone filed bankruptcy. Listen, every time they said Donald Trump filed bankruptcy 4 times, I'm like, and he'll do it again if you give it to him. And this is why I skipped getting an MBA. They tell you up front the curriculum is based on students interpreting real life experiences of real companies. That's the headline. MBA, real life experiences, real life companies. You will rise or fall to the level of your systems. Goals get you nowhere, in my opinion. Facts. A lot of these people you see with these companies that are making money is systems. What are your thoughts on taking an e-com course? I have no opinion. Do you need the step-by-step holding for the e-com course? Can you not spend a month following e-com information out here on YouTube that's old, that's about 4 years old now? If you can't, spend it. I mean, again, that question's so vague. How much do you make a year? How much are you expected to make off this course? You know, the question's loaded. Is there another resource to finding flex space besides LoopNet? It just depends. Each town's different. I mean, literally, you can go on realtor.com. Depends on what your town markets. Who's the family offices in your town? Scott, thank you for the 999 super chats. Get a CDL, a Series 7, notary license. Skills matter, people. Thank you for your content. Yeah, I think the number one way you'll learn about trucking is being a trucker or owning a truck and partnering with people that are truckers. The best way you'll get into the stock market, is actually physically risking your money. Every time I hear somebody say, oh, I paper trade, man, get your ass out of here. Get your ass out of here. If you're not physically taking $500 cash and putting it in the market and testing your patience, your thought process, your energy, your emotions, and your logic, you are just playing games on paper. Oh, I'm paper trading. I'm learning. I'm educating myself. Girl, bye. That's not real life. You got to really test yourself. If you can't risk $500, then you are not even in a position to think about it. Oh man, I can't risk $500. But hey, if you can't risk $97, somebody in the comments that say, man, I gotta work. I gotta figure out how to save money to pay for your courses. It's a $97 course. If you can't do $97, you shouldn't even be watching my videos. You should be going to work right now. and then go work your second job till you can get yourself clear enough of whatever you're struggling through. You don't even think about it. Don't buy my course. Go read. Go study. The best thing you can do is have a rich mind. If $97 is a breaking point, baby, I would turn this TV off. I turn this whole internet off of you. You don't even need to be on the internet this week. You need to be out working. And I'm not even being funny. You would be better off spending your time 4 to 5 hours Ubering than to think, oh, let me buy a course. No. If you need to save $97 about this, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm the only person I'm sitting here going to tell you, listen, if you need to save $97 to buy my courses, don't do it. I want you to save your money. I want you to go work. Once you start working, you're going to get a clarity of like, oh, here's where I could put my money. And I mean that 100%. I don't need anybody's money. Ericka's my last night. I don't need it. You need it. And you need it bad. Please don't give me that money. I'd rather you not. This is why you have the chargeback game so crazy out here. Where all these people out here charging back because they couldn't afford it and they were never serious about it in the beginning. 90% of my coworkers have MBAs, but here I am sitting next to you making similar money with no MBA. Listen, let your company pay for it, but don't you pay for it. Sorry. I can't pay $20K just to be late to class and surrounded by 26-year-olds asking me why I still got an Android. You already know. This is hitting me for I need the starting point. I'm all over the place. Yeah. Yeah, people could do, listen, co-ops, CSA, which is community supported agriculture. If you're really serious about, Ericka, oh my God, the food costs, listen, you need to be going to find out who your local farms are. Anytime people tell me they can't afford food costs, they need to be finding out who their local farm is near them and figuring out how they can volunteer, how they can work. What can they do to get the eggs without doing something strange for some change? I was tired of beating a dead horse. My entrepreneur journey kept getting sidetracked. You, technically speaking, Tam, definitely pushed me and motivated me to get back in tech. So thank you. You're welcome. Oh, yeah, they did. They did. High City is hiring public works and many labor-related careers with apprentices. That's awesome. Yes, the city infrastructure-related careers need to go to high schools. And, yep, they do. Florida and Texas are the new California, New York, the South will rise again. Listen, let me tell you something. People be like, Ericka, when you gonna leave Texas? Let me tell you something. Florida and Texas, even if I lived in North Carolina, even if I moved to Tennessee, even if I moved to Arizona to me is the I'm so poor, I'm dying in California. Let me go to Arizona. Because ain't nobody really want to be there, right? Like they come there if they live in Wisconsin. I'm freezing to death. Let me go to Arizona where it's hot. That's how I look at Arizona. Arizona's like a refuge. If I have to go there, I'll go there, right? Right? But there might be some project out there. But I would steal money, hands down money. I'd be throwing money every night, every day into Texas and Florida. Hands down, y'all. I am telling, my horses are all in. Like North Carolina, I know is steady money. You know, I know what kind of steady money. It's people from New York. They only gonna get halfway. They don't want to go all the way to Florida, but they get it halfway, right? North Carolina and South Carolina steady money because people from there, they live in so cheaply. They have no desire to move. They'll move, but they'll come back. I've seen that plenty of times. So for me, the growth, the future of growth is Texas and Florida. So for me, I'm 10 toes down. I'm $100 million in on Texas and Florida. Listen, you ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet from your girl. I promise you. I'm 10 toes down into Texas, millions of dollars down into Texas, because I know what's coming. I've read too many economic development plans. I see where their money is moving. I see where it's going. Wow, never heard that before about me having to looking at a bunch of people sideways, their cars, absentee. They wouldn't. They going to jail. They snitches. Only federal snitches get CPNs, so to protect their identity. That's where it started from. All this, superstars and celebrities get it, but who gave it to the celebrity? A judge or a what? A lawyer in that arena. Or who? The FBI. Okay, so stop it. I started my first year last year, last business last year. When I got fired, I made some money, but ended up ran through my running capital and had to stop. But I'm at it again this year, fall, then get up. Yeah. And this is part of why I talk about credit. You know, people I'm meeting that have 20K in a credit card and they can pay their staff, pay their employees, and get it running. They do have a credit card. I used to side out the baby fat cars. Lord Jesus. Oh my God, just bought a 408. Wait, let me read that again. 408 square foot studio condo in DC and renting it out for $25.20. Ooh, listen, DC used to be Chocolate City. Now, if you were telling me, Ericka, Obama is there again, third term running, I'll be like, let me go to DC because it's about to be on and popping. It's gonna have some crime. It's gonna have some black people. It's gonna be Chocolate City again. It's gonna be crazy. But Biden's DC. Last time I went to DC, I was there. I was like, it's looking a little dry out here. It's looking a little ashy. It's not looking fun. At least Trump's DC was fun. It was weird, but it was fun. Now it's looking ashy, right? I went there, was like, I'm not feeling inspired, okay? Not feeling inspired. But congratulations, because that's the craziness of DC. Urban homesteader. I mean it though. Listen, masculine, testosterone filled builders. Okay. It sounds eerily like the Atlantic trade of the 18th century. I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying if you there's something going on in our community or society. If the border isn't closing and we have these masculine, can fix things men coming across the border, our country needs those people. There's a reason we're not closing the border. Now you see what happened when the Haitians got down there. They were like, hey, wait a minute. Y'all go back. But there's reasons for that. You already know. Ericka, do you think it's better to rent my land in NC for mobile home parking, or should I put mobile homes on it and rent the homes? Thanks. And B, I need so many other context clues of where your land is. Can you get the permits? Is copy the best thing for you? Probably is to book a call with me. Use the Calendly link. If it's always in the description and after this renders. But that's so much. That's a lot. Super chat that conversation. Cali and New York lost their cloud in the 90s. Yeah. You know, remember when people were in the 90s? I was a kid. Oh, they moved to California. They moved to New York. There's a rapper. I forgot his name. Maybe y'all might know him. His mom, when he was 12 or 15, 12, took him to New York from North Carolina so he could get on a rap label. It didn't work. They said he was too young. They had to live in a homeless shelter for 5 months. Then, a few years later, he finally gets on. Her house catches on fire. He had to use all his money from his rap advance to make sure she was okay because she had a daughter, and their daughter was autistic. So they went to New York from North Carolina to basically be homeless. And my friend's like, well, but it worked out. They got a record label. At what cost though? Instability? Nah, that ain't hype to me. I stay right in North Carolina. I know too many people who've been in North Carolina their whole life. And in the wave of the 90s, they were on TV shows. They were extras in movies. They did the whole game. They had a healthy acting career. Living in North Carolina. Going down to Georgia, going to North Carolina, going to these movies, Tyler Perry style. They've been fine. So this whole hype of like, you've got to be in California. If you're not in California, you miss it out. Like, nah, I'm good. Like that lost its appeal. New York lost that appeal, right? People that's from there, they're gonna be like, you know what you're talking about. But again, when I meet people who are moving to New York, they're from London, wanting to go to New York. It's not like, or it's people from middle nowhere, like, I need to go to New York. Okay, good luck. Went to a Walmart fulfillment center in Lancaster. Texas, under construction last week. No electrician spoke English. And this is part of why this year Ericka Williams will be learning Spanish. I'm not gonna come on no job site and play them games. I don't know what you're saying. You know what I'm saying. Stop playing with me. You know what I'm saying. And I have some of the classy climbers. I want to thank y'all. Y'all let me call y'all and y'all speak Spanish to people for me. I appreciate you because they be trying to play them games here. Like, oh, okay, well, let me get this person on the phone. Oh shit. Oh, okay. I speak the English. Oh, okay, I see. That English got real clear, real quick, huh? Oh, okay. Stop playing with me. They love Bank of America. Love Bank of America. Bank of America was the first. They loved them. They let them do it. She said, I used Chat GPT to write a story in 60 seconds. It was amazing. Nurses just need CEUs to renew in some states. Thank you so much. We nurse only have to do CEU every 2 years, and most of the time the job pays for them. There you go. Them nurses gonna be 92 years old getting that CEU. Typing at the desk like this. They ain't getting nowhere. Funeral home owners too. Yes. The funeral home people in the 90s, when I hate to say it like this, when that gang rap was going on and all them rappers was like, yeah, they made money in the 90s, y'all. Oh, yeah. Oh, there it is. But Quillbot is going to be big as well because people can use it to change text produced by GChat because Google is going to derate content by Chat GPT. Of course, Google said, how are we going to keep our money? Get this out of here. How do you afford a house as a single woman making $90K in the DC area? Monica, let me read this again. I read it at the beginning of the show. I will say it again. If you had no debt, I know people don't want to hear this, but again, if you had no debt, if you make $70K a year, you can get a $400,000 house. You make $75K a year, you can get a $450,000 house. You have $85K a year income, you can get a $500,000 house. You have $100K a year, you can get a $650,000 house. If you have $250,000, you can get an $850,000 house. I would suggest strongly to you, Monica, what are two things you can do in the next 2 years? You can either make more money or two, pay off all your debt. What does that look like? This is part of why we're doing the credit class. Because again, even myself, the things I tell y'all in the class, I tell y'all, oh, I tried this, I did this, or I worked this. Even the vendor lines of credit, the stuff I taught from last class, I'm actually doing it currently. Tell you how I report. How does it look? What is it doing for me? What is it doing for my business credit? Again, that's why I'm teaching the class. January 8th, the credit class. The links are in the chat. January 14th, the digital real estate class, how to make 100K this year in the social media space, in the digital influencer space. And then also in February, we're going to Middleman to Millions, just an update. Middleman to Millions, you had a roofing company person talking. You had cleaning company people talking. You had service business people. Everything you think of, you got in the Middleman to Millions because that's what a lot of this service business stuff ends up being. Why rents are easier, $500 to $900 less in DC, MO, and PG. Okay. My boy is a 33-year-old, owns a chain of grocery stores, made $12 million last year, but only netted around $700,000. That's why I keep telling y'all, like, just because somebody tells you I own all this stuff, ask them what's the net. Monica, you can afford one, just going to be a townhouse or condo. Thank y'all for encouraging her. She can afford one. This is true. This is true. Republican Party attracts a wide coalition of people interest. Not everybody's Christian or family oriented. Some people just have conservative economic outlook. I'll tell you now, as a person that actually goes to CPAC, one of the years I went to CPAC in 2020 or 2021, they had a whole campaign against Bell's bondsmen, basically cash bail. And they're like, it costs our country $8 billion a year to keep holding people in jail when we could just let them out and put them on, hey, you come back for your court. You shouldn't be trying to bail people if they can't, oh, they don't have any money, they're poor, they have to sit in jail. That costs our country $8 billion. And the Republican Party was on that train like, hey, we got to start letting these people out. This costs too much money to be just holding people in jail because they can't afford to get out. That's against the Constitution. They have a right to defend themselves. But if you keep them in jail for a year and you got them on this no bond stuff, or they can't afford to bond out, they're going to take whatever plea you give them at that point because they need to get out and be near their families. So it's not just, it's not just conservative. It's several issues. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Oh yeah, you be a god in that town. Your family's the big to-do families in that town. You can audit e-com classes for free on Coursera, as you're saying. Learn to trade, teach it to make money, and make AA money. Yeah. Thank you for coming. Remember the YouTube channels, K Business Podcast. 97 is not bad from the courses coming for someone who sincerely wants help. No worries. People out here finessing $2,000 courses that don't amount to anything. I mean, that's the thing, Scott. That's why I laugh about this whole thing, because at the end of the day, I know I know what I teach and I know it works. That's why I'm going to go sit down in February. I'm going to go enjoy the fruit of my labor. I'm out of here. I've done all I can do for most people. At this point, I'm just going to run ads on the content because I know what I'm saying. I know I can have people who do testimony and say, man, Ericka said this 2 years ago, and she was right. I know. I'm going to post those. I'm going to stunt on post those. Thank y'all for sharing them, though. Never leaving Texas. That heat is wild. The heat, Arizona. I went to Arizona. It was 115 in the day. I said, I got a nosebleed. I had to go sit down. I said, okay, I'm going to come back out here about 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night. It'll be cooler. Because in Texas, at least has the decency to be cool at night. Man, I was out there in Arizona. It was 102 degrees. I almost died. I was like, Lord, why is it still in the hundreds? It was awful. It was awful. Awful. That's why when people say, oh, I'm moving to Arizona. No, you're not. You from California. You broke. You leave in California because you broke. You're going to stay in Arizona, and then about a year or two from now, you're going to spend your summers in California and do your winters in AZ, like most people do. Andy, there's a ton of opportunities in Africa. I could do a whole show on that, which I've done before, but at the end of the day, you need money. These Asians and Indian people going over to Africa, they leaving, they coming with money. They're not just coming over there like, I'm going to start a business with no money. No, they coming with some money in their pocket to start a business. That's why you have Asians in Jamaica right now. They came to Jamaica with some money in their pocket to do what? Start over. So if you're a man just going over to Africa just because you want to play, good luck. You'll be back home in America soon, but good luck. Nah, he didn't come up with it from scratch. It's illegal then. What you're doing is describing fraud. Mortgage fraud is fed time, bro. Mortgage fraud is fed time. You're going to big jail. Like, and he didn't just come up with the numbers. When you come up with those numbers like that in the system, it's probably a dead kid or an elderly person attached to the number. Nah, even to get a mortgage house, his CPN number had to match his paycheck stub and the money that he was using and the bank account to get the mortgage for the house. So your friend's either lying, you're lying, I'm not trying to say you're a liar, or, oh, boy's a fucking snitch. He didn't make it up. He didn't make it up, baby. That's not how that works. Because you have to have an actual whole file to make that work. That's why I hate even doing YouTube. Y'all come up with these dumbass questions sometimes. Like a CPN, if you got a CPN number and there's nothing attached to it, it's been no identity to it for 20 years, but yet you want to buy a house. It don't make sense. The CPN is somebody else's number. They had to have a date where they were born. They had to have a date. Again, even to make CPNs work, you have to put some address on it, some birth date attached to it, right? So all this shit you're doing is fraud. Paperwork fraud, bank fraud, mortgage fraud. Your ass is going to Fed time. So again, keep telling your boy, what's his name? What city and state he live in? I'm about to go give me a reward money. Go ahead and give me his name and number so I can get the reward money real quick. So I can call the feds and get me some check. Put his name in the chat. DC dry. DC hella dry now. Y'all come move down to Florida with me in Tampa Bay. Hey, they down there, Scott. They down there in Tampa. Baltimore County 3-bedroom houses rent for going for $2K. People in tech, literally, I just posted an article the other week. They get fired and move right onto another job. They fine. Johnny, it is safe to say they are not in a good spot. No, most folks in Cali head over to Texas or Las Vegas. That's why I'm saying Arizona is like the last resort. Like, I can't even afford Vegas. I'm about to go to Arizona. I prefer Arizona over Florida. The latter has too much humidity. Man, your skin gonna be leather dry. I'm gonna see you in 10 years. You're gonna be leather dry. You were talking about men like this, and I go on to build construction and remodel every day. It's hard to find American workers nowadays that don't want to work. It's facts. That's why I stopped working in DC. I went to work one day in the summer, looked around and said, this is no longer a come up. It's no longer a come up. If I move to Texas to be in suburban Dallas, everybody's going to live in the suburbs of Dallas. Okay. DFW actually is bigger in population than 31 states in America. Let me say that again. DFW metro population is bigger than 31 states in America. So if somebody tell you, Eric, I'm going to live in DC, baby, I'll never see you. I'm going to live in Dallas. I'll never see you. I come to Dallas all the time. I have to literally make arrangements to hang out with my friends in DC, in Dallas. Like, hey, I'm gonna be in Dallas this day. Well, I live in Frisco, or I live in Plano. Do you know how far that is even from downtown Dallas? I went to one of my friend's house, and it was 45-minute drive from downtown Dallas to their house. So again, when people tell me I'm gonna move to suburban Dallas, where in Dallas? Dallas is so big that I know for certain if I moved to Houston or Dallas when I first moved to Texas, I had to move back home. It's too big, too big, too big. Technology has changed that. Location doesn't matter now. No need to go to Hollywood physically. You don't. NYU pay $5,000 to rent a 500 square foot apartment just to get the luxury to walk through the city that smells like urine and trash. Y'all, I was in New York this summer for the Serena Williams thing. I was like, whoo, y'all, the pee is strong. Y'all can't smell that? It smells like kitties everywhere, like kitty cat pee everywhere. I was about to faint out there. You can move to PG County, Brandywine, Bowie. I actually drove through Bowie. It's very redneck looking. Upper Marble. No, it isn't. It isn't. I ain't even gonna play with you. What about 50K to buy a house? Naka? Naka, you can go look up, what's his name? Oh gosh, what's his name? I forgot his name, but I'll post him on the community wall. He talks about doing NACA process. NACA process is just very slow. Anytime you use the government to try to buy a home, banks and housing people are going to drag their feet. But this is a perfect year to do it because this is the year where people are acting real scared to buy a house. So this is a perfect year if you want to waste about 8 months trying to buy a home with NACA. Perfect year because you ain't got nothing but time because you can't afford a house. So you got time. NACA, NACA, NACA program. That's the funny part. Most people are not Cowboys fans. Outside of Dallas, they are, but most people in Dallas are like, what? Cowboys? What? Why would a person? Because that's probably standard of the houses. It depends on if you guys go on realtor.com and look in certain areas, the standard house that's halfway decent is 450. Just depending on where you are. I mean, people move to Atlanta to get their scam on. So there's California people down there too, for sure. Hollywood, New York, all of it together. Why do people always do? Is this alive? Is this alive? Is this live? Yes. Ericka, your Tech Tuesday inspired me to go into tech. I just completed a cybersecurity program. Congratulations, man. Oh, Lord. Tax fraud. Hey, Eric, I wanted to know your opinion on the economy of Houston and New Orleans. It's fine. It's bumping just right along. A lot of people say, well, the energy stocks, listen, energy, the oil rigs and all this gas is going overseas. They're selling it overseas. So, it is what it is. If you know, the economy in New Orleans is always going to be tourism based. If they ever come up with some programs where you could go into New Orleans and fix all them raggedy ass roofs, man, you make a lot of money. Tie City, uncut, underground. Tie City, all those smart people are leaving the DFW area. I mean, most people are living around DFW, north of DFW, west of DFW. Are they leaving? Yes and no. People that have been there before all these people started coming, yes. Solo landscaping country, 100K, no problem. Oh, for sure. Like, I'm not even playing with y'all. My little nephew that's 16 years old has 70 lawns. At 16 years old. He's like, what I need to go to college for? We're like, baby, it's more to life than that, baby. Come on. But it's simple math. If you're willing to work, you'll get that money. You'd be better off in Tulsa or OKC. Yeah. Some folks, yeah. I live in Dallas. It's crazy with homeless now. I mean, but that's the thing. When people say, oh, it's crazy with homeless, to what extent? When I'm in Alaska has a ton of homeless people, but they find somewhere to be in the wintertime. So, you know what I mean? It just depends. Again, what did I tell y'all? Like, the next couple years, if you create housing for homeless, daytime space training, like their job training homeless, like all these places, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Oh yeah, I was in Portland, Oregon, but New York was stronger. I promise you. I was in Oregon, and I was visiting my brother. I was like, "Ooh, it smells a little strong around here," but it wasn't as bad as New York, baby. It was burning. My eyebrows was about to come off. I was wiping them so hard in New York. Y'all, look, was working in a hospital, making 13 hours of tech. brought appliance course and started making $3K a month. That is a testimonial. If I ever heard one, you better screenshot that and send it to him. A lot of musical friends I had from college moved to NYC. They moved there, end up playing around the world, anywhere but NYC. They always subletting their apartment. That is very common. I've seen that. I'm going 3 hours west to a small abandoned oil town, got another 3 acres for $6K, and a tiny home permits are $15 an hour. Yeah. At the end of the day, listen, there's so much space in Texas. You can move out and get and be big balling. Big balling. Most people in Dallas are transplants from other states. Yeah. Andrew Hayes, thank you. I'm so sorry. If Andre sees this, he's gonna be so mad. I'm not. It's not personal. I just had a long day. I actually know him personally, and I have post pictures of us. He spilled something on my dress at it. Andre had his birthday party. Whether he tells y'all the truth or not, he did. He spilled it on my dress. I mean, walking around smelling like Jamaican plum ranch. But yes, he talks about NACA, and it's good. He was able to take NACA and get a fourplex in Chicago. No money down. It was worth him waiting. I'm okay with that. You got to find a deal though, y'all. Energy in Texas bigger than ever. NACA Queen is the best through Matt the Mortgage Guy. Okay, I ain't gonna go. That's whatever y'all got going on there. I ain't going there. Only reason people leave in Dallas, they don't have no money. I mean, it gets really too busy. I mean, depending like if I was in Houston, God bless y'all. I've seen people drive from one side of Houston to the other. I'd be like, ugh, this is exhausting. I couldn't do it. San Francisco has about 20,000 homeless. Their budget is 500 million counting. Yeah, if you got somewhere to put these homeless people, you're gonna make some money. I had a work conference office, nice city, but insane homes near the downtown and river. Yeah, it was like they did a cleanup effort by the river recently. So we were just down there the other day walking town. Like I was like, they done got rid of all the homeless off this side. Now there's other parts of downtown, yes. If you try to go on dirty 6th Street, yeah, you're gonna run into homeless. But everywhere else, nah, they keep them out of there. Maybe 25 there. No, listen, I drove through Bowie literally 20. When did my mom have her brain surgery? Like 2011. No, 2009. What was it, rack work? 2007 or 2008. I drove through. I was like, ooh, the Bowie kind of looking hillbilly-ish. Hillbillies. Y'all just must got there, Chief Rocker, like 5 years ago. Y'all weren't there before that. I'm gonna pull up some data on Bowie. Just because you just challenged me on it, I'm gonna look it up. There's a homeless compound in South Dallas, all the free housing, but only older people want to live under those restrictions. So that's the thing. They don't want to live with rules. I want you to be homeless. If you don't want to live in a house where there's rules where you have to wash your face, shower your body, take your medication, no problem. Be outside the matrix. You can live in the forest. I'm okay with that. As long as you ain't bothering people. My property taxes tripled when they built Jerry Jones Stadium in Arlington up the street. I believe that. My friend had some friends whose parents lost their house in Arlington. It was a fire. How long from start to finish is taking to build the homes you're building? On average, is 4 to 8 months. It depends on who's your builder. Listen, let me tell y'all something. You get a good builder, you're gonna have a good time. You got your supplies, you can have a good time. But if you ain't got them things lined up, baby, it's gonna take a minute. Energies like Quentin Jordan. I'm gonna tell y'all this. I have 3 or 4 videos. I went home for my Ugandan editor to get back in that part of Africa, and we'll be having them uploaded, I think, next week about energy. I have about, I think, 5 videos at this point on energy going to Just Stop Profits. I'll link them in the community chat, but there's a reason I'm talking about energy. There is a reason. Solar and wind farm. Yeah. Yep. Thank you. I appreciate your realm of crypto. There you go. Live in the streets. All right, y'all. It's 506 people. I see y'all. Listen, there's 506 people here. Hit the like button. Thank y'all for supporting the channel. Again, if you want to join me on the live trainings January 8th for the credit class, you can. If you want to join me January 14th for the digital real estate, I'm going to help you get 100K in a year, social media, and get the hell on about your life. We can do that. And then also the beginning of February, we'll mark the Middleman to Millions like 2-year anniversary, do a lot of training on that. But at the end of the day, baby, I'm going up out of here. February, I got to run. I got things I got to do after that. And you guys will see me 2 places. March, the Panama trip, right? We're hoping to get another 30 people going with us down to Panama. We're doing Panama and Bogota, Panama. Okay, very beautiful. July 17th to 22nd, we will be in Zanzibar, Tanzania. Experiencing Zanzibar. It'll be a fun trip. We'll be our actual rooms we booked are right on the beach. We're gonna be out there dancing, party, eating good, living good on the water. And then there'll be one day where I'll take y'all to look at some of the investments in Zanzibar, but the rest of the time is just a fun time. Same thing with Panama. This trip around, mostly fun times, like 1 or 2 visits. Like I didn't want to burn people out on looking at real estate when they really want to have fun in the city. So that's our goal. We're going to see if Croatia and Greece gets fit in the back end of September. But if not, it is what it is. We may do a minor mastermind in Central Texas in May. We'll see if that happens. If it don't happen, it don't happen. But yes, you guys, you've always been fun. You're hilarious. I'm up out of here. Y'all think I'm joking. Catch me on these live trainings. We're going over everything we want to go on. But at the end of the day, the change is here. The change is now. So, guys, this is your girl, Ericka, Classic Line Blog. Thank you for joining the channel. Have a great night.